Hello. Let me do a touch up. My name is Victoria Achieng. Welcome to my channel again. Today we're going to be reviewing my top 10 makeup products. Now, I'll be going by different categories and I try my best to do a more designer brand, a more high-end brand, and a drugstore brand of each product category that I'll be going through. Not all of them will have that, but I'll try my best. Starting off with category number 1. Lip glosses. Now, when it comes to drugstore lip gloss, Maybelline. Oh my gosh, their lip glosses, so pigmented. And I would say a runner-up to Maybelline would be NYX. Between Maybelline and NYX lip glosses, you're gonna have a good drugstore quality for lip gloss, especially if you're a dark-skinned girl. Now, I'm gonna specifically be talking about products that are favorable for my darker skinned women because there's a lot of brands that have a lot of products, but none of them make sense for us because they're simply not pigmented enough. I can say Maybelline lip glosses are number 1, and then I would do an honorable mention of NYX lip glosses. So that is what I would say for the lip gloss category. Now for the luxury brand, I would say for a more higher end, more costly lip gloss, Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty came through for the girls. We know that the internet went crazy when Fenty came out with the Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb. Everybody had it. Everybody and their mom and their grandma had it. Like, everybody has this, everybody's familiar with this pentagon of a logo. We know what FB is about. Fenty Beauty. I wasn't gonna share this, but I have some Fenty glosses that are on their way in the mail. So let me know if you would like me to do a lip review on the Fenty glosses. Let me know in the comments, engage, interact with me so I know what you would like to see from me. But an honorable mention, Christian Dior. J'adore Dior, Christian Dior. I believe the lip glosses I have been discontinued, but Dior comes through. It's a pretty penny for Dior, but it's worth it every single time. So if you want to go high end, I would say Fenty Beauty, Christian Dior, 10 for 10, highly recommend. So for the lip glosses, you have Maybelline, NYX, honorable mention, Fenty Beauty, Christian Dior, honorable mention. Now, moving on to the category of concealers, I will say NARS. NARS is 10 for 10, highly recommend. Now, this is the thing. This is a radiant creamy concealer, so it's not mattifying. However, for my oily skin girls, I will say getting a creamy, radiant, hydrating concealer is actually going to help set your makeup base better than a mattifying concealer, because sometimes when we are oily skin girls, we look for everything matte, and when our skin is dry, it will overcompensate by producing even more oils. So sometimes to counteract the oiliness of our oily skin, using a radiant concealer and then probably mattifying powders, that is a better balance than just putting everything matte on your face. Especially for the under eye, it does not patch, it doesn't crease extensively for me. So I would say NARS concealers, like 10 for 10, highly recommend. There's really nothing bad to say about it. Get into it. You gotta be true to this, not new to this. And I think I have another, hold on. And there's Soft Matte Complete Concealer. And this is in the shade Dark Coffee. And it's a deeper tone, as you can see. And this is very good for like spot correcting. So if you wanna have like a no makeup type of look and you just wanna adjust the areas of your skin that are uneven, this is a very full coverage, it's a good matte concealer. So on the mattifying side for NARS, I'll say their concealers are good. So that's an honorable mention. Drugstore recommendation for concealers, I would say L'Oreal Paris, the Infallible Full Wear. It's thick. I have this in the shade, what shade? Honey 415. And she's so, look at that. And the dofer is so big. And it's, yeah, you don't need too much. Like, you get a lot of product. Like, you get so much product. I would highly recommend this. I would say get the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Fullwear. To me, it's performing better than e.l.f. And for the longest time, I used to use e.l.f. Cosmetics, their concealer, their camo concealer. Is it camo or cameo concealer? I used it for the longest time. Like, but I started to notice that they would gravitate, the e.l.f. concealer would gravitate to my my dry patches, and I'm like, why is it overemphasizing it? These are not even all of my like e.l.f. concealers. I have used it, like I've used the e.l.f. concealer to the point where there's nothing, like there's nothing. This was the first one that I tried, and then this is the second one. Y'all, nothing. Favorite. One thing I will say about NARS is that they have been providing deeper skin tone ranges. I wear the shade Zombie, but I believe I can also wear the darker shade. This is the one that is my best match. So I prefer the Radiant Foundation even as an oily skin girl, because when you put your mattifying powders on, it's seamless. The product tends to settle into the skin better. Mattifying products, sometimes they can be a bit stiff. Lancome, I wear the shade 560C. I don't know if this is the darkest shade. I think so. I'll have to double check. But Lancome, once again, has been coming through for the dark skin girlies. They have been having deeper skin tone shades, and it is a 24-hour makeup. I've never wore makeup an hour for 24 hours, but I will say the time that I do wear this foundation, it doesn't move. It holds foundation. I will say MAC, NARS, MAC, and Lancome have been having deeper shades for the dark skin girls. I wear shade NW58. This is I have the impression that this is a mattifying foundation. I could be wrong. That's G original. You just can't say anything bad. Too good to me. Now, in terms of drugstore, I would say that the Maybelline Fit Me, so 375 Java is my perfect shade, but sometimes I will wear 380 just to even out my skin, depending on how bright I'm doing my look. I don't want it too bright, so to dull it down, I would wear a 380. So 375, 380. 375 is my perfect match. 380 is clearly darker. When I put it on, it's visibly darker, but you know, when you do your concealer and everything and powders, it balances out, okay? So, and this is matte. This is a matte poreless. This is for normal to oily skin. It works for me. I just don't have any complaints. I will be exploring other drugstore foundations, and if I have any updates about what I think is a better fit for drugstore foundations, I will let you know. All right, so that's the category of skin foundation. Now we are moving on. So we did lip gloss, concealers, foundations. Now we're gonna move on to powders. For the higher end products, I'm gonna say, if it's about me, it's about Fenty Beauty. I will say that their loose powders, so Fenty Beauty has a shade Coffee, which is their darkest shade. And I believe this is the darkest loose powder that is on the market. Loose powder, I'm not talking pressed, loose powder. In terms of loose powder, I have yet to see anything darker than Fenty Beauty Coffee. So if you're a dark skin girl, deep dark skin girl, this is gonna be for you. I have such a hard time finding loose powders that can match my complexion or even go deeper. You just don't find it. Fenty Beauty got it. It's a 10 for 10. Like, I'm almost done. Like, do you see? Okay, like, I'm almost out. Like, that's the product. This is the first loose powder I'm gonna hit pan. So my under eye, I use it in the shade Nutmeg. It's beautiful. This is matte. Oh, no doubt about it. Rihanna is an oily skin girl, and it shows in how she formulated these powders. These are for oily skin girls. 10 out of 10, recommend. No. And then for drugstore, I would say Maybelline Fit Me. I hit pan. I have hit pan. And I'm shade 375 Java. I don't know, do they go darker? Does this go up to 380? I feel like for the Maybelline Fit Me powder, they don't go darker than 375, but it's weird because their foundation goes up to 380. So I could be wrong at about that, but I hope that they do release a 380 for the pressed powder. So I've hit pan, and this is not the first time I've hit pan. This is the second time I've hit pan. Yeah. Yeah. It's drugstore wise, I don't know outside of Maybelline Fit Me, which other drugstore makeup brand has foundation, has powders that go this dark or darker. I don't think you're gonna get anything outside of Maybelline Fit Me, their powder series, drugstore wise, in terms of deep dark tone complexions. They don't go dark. Unfortunately, they still don't go dark in drugstores. Like, it's so frustrating to find a pressed powder, loose powder in the drugstore that is dark enough for you. It's only Maybelline Fit Me, and it's only gonna be a pressed powder. You're not gonna find a loose powder that's dark for you. If you're my tone or darker, you're not gonna find it. But if you're looking for a pressed powder, it's gonna be this one and the only one. I've hit pan. When I buy Maybelline Fit Me powders, I always have to buy it in twos. Could have only one, because I don't really, I don't believe that you need to be spending a lot of money on a lip liner. However, the only brand I'm gonna say is a caveat to that is gonna be the Pat McGrath lip liners. They go deep. And even her eyeliners go deep as well. And I think some people use her eyeliners as lip liners. But anyway, Pat McGrath liners, they go deep. I would spend a pretty penny on Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath, that's all. You can do her. But Pat McGrath, I recommend her. I recommend investing in that. But outside of Pat McGrath, you do not need to be spending high, like to get a high-end lip liner just doesn't make sense. It's silly. Outside of Pat McGrath, I would not recommend anybody to get any lip liner, eyeliner that is a pretty penny, because it's just not worth it. This is a drugstore, beauty supply store. I got this at a beauty supply store, and it is the LA Girl Perfect Precision Eyeliner in the shade dark brown. But I also have this in the shade brown. I just can't find it. So I would put my, and this is like, it's deep, yeah. And it's deep, it's deep. And what I would do is I would put my dark brown on the perimeter and then my brown like closer to the center, so like everything meshes. Because I feel like some people just do a very dark lip liner and then their gloss color in the middle or their nude color in the middle, and the gradient is too harsh. Like, you need to transition. You need to blend. You NYX Matte Finish Finny Matte. When I use this, like, I feel my face tighten. Not in a bad. I like it. I like it when I feel my products working. Yeah. Not too harsh though. Not too harsh, but Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, hey! Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Party all night, stay all day. Round of applause to her. It works. I use her on special occasions. I don't waste her. I do not waste her under any circumstance. She's my favorite. No complaints. It works. That's all. Like, it works. I just have no words. Go try it out for yourself. And those are all the categories that I have for my top 10 beauty makeup products. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you like me to do my top 10 for hygiene, skincare? Top 10 products. What is a product you would recommend for somebody else to try? Thank you so much. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll have all my details in my bio, my email for business inquiries, my social media handles. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. Follow me on my other platforms so we can connect. Bye.